Hey guys, it's Thomas of Chrono24 in New York City, and today we are talking about watch case materials. Next up, let's talk about gold. Now, gold is kind of a category of materials because you have yellow gold, you have white gold, you have rose gold, and a couple other variations as well. You'll see these most often with dress watches because gold has long been synonymous with wealth and with luxury. So therefore, for formal events, if you're wearing a watch, chances are it's going to be a precious metal like gold. Now, another precious metal that you typically see with dress watches is platinum. We're really not going to get into that today because you can sum it up by saying it's bright, it's heavy, and it's expensive. Gold is a little bit more nuanced, so we're going to focus on that in this video. Now, yellow gold is the most common style out there, but you can mix in other metals and alloys to create varying shades of white gold and rose gold, for example. Brands even have their own proprietary gold alloys. Think of honey gold with Longa. Rolex has Rolesor yellow gold and Everose rose gold. Omega has their Sedna rose gold and their Moonshine gold that we saw with the special edition Speedmaster. Now let's talk about some pros and cons of gold. Gold is considered a softer metal, meaning that it is easier to work into various shapes. It's very malleable. It also has a little bit more comfortable feel on the wrist as opposed to a stiffer material like a titanium, for example. Some cons, however, is that gold is a little heavy. It scratches a little bit easy, although it can be refinished a little bit easier as well. And it's expensive. That's probably the biggest downside to it. If you're paying for a gold watch, you're going to be paying a lot for a gold watch. Now, because of price, you will see gold-plated watches, gold-filled watches, gold-capped watches. Now, I would typically stay away from gold-plated watches because that's just a thin layer applied to the outside of a steel watch typically. So the more you wear that watch, the worse it looks. Gold-capped and gold-filled, which you'll run into in the vintage market, is a little bit better because that's a thicker application or it's bonded a little bit better. So it does still wear down a little bit over time. With gold filled, for example, but it's certainly not as dramatic as a gold-plated watch. Gold is a very luxurious material. That's why it's used in dress watches a lot of times, but some pushback that you'll hear on that from watch lovers is that it's just a little bit too flashy. They want something under the radar like steel. It's perfectly fine. All I'll say is don't knock it till you try it. For gold watches and even two-tone watches, it's just a really cool feeling to strap one on. So if you're curious about a gold or steel watch, don't count it out just because the community at large might not be in favor. Now, one quick aside about white gold is that sometimes it does change over time. Brands will use different alloys or they'll do a rhodium coating. Even high-end brands do this from time to time. So you can get a white gold watch that'll look different 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road. Just one thing to be aware of, it is still a very luxurious material, but it's not permanent. So that's gold. You have a lot of variety there as far as what color is going to match with your skin tone. If you want to go a little more flashy, go for a yellow or a rose gold. If you want to keep it subtle, stick to a white gold. It's not the best for sport watches, but for a special occasion, there's nothing better. Now, from a styling perspective, different golds work better for different people. If you have blonde hair, for example, a yellow gold can really make that pop. If you have skin with some kind of peachy, rosier undertones, a rose gold will really echo that nicely. Or if you want something that is luxurious and is a precious metal, but flies a little bit under the radar, go for a white gold.